Reginald Rivers and his partner Chandra Ayer seem like two guys who probably have the coolest job in the world. Being experienced men who host safaris, they've been doing it for quite a while. Particularly Reginald Rivers, an Australian who's been doing it for 20 years. Unfortunately, all the game is now held in very protected reserves. So what's it got to do? Well, use newly acquired time travel, of course. He sets up a company with Chandra and they partner up to form a company where people who could pay the money could go anywhere in the past, usually for hunting, but other things as well, like photography or paleontologists who could afford the fees can go over there and find out stuff that they couldn't find with just fossils alone. Sounds pretty simple, could make a great amount of money. Well, if only all his clients were obedient. What I'm referring to right here is a collective works of short stories written by Sprague, a very unappreciated science fiction author, who if you find any of his works, I suggest you pick them up and you will enjoy them. But this one right here is a collective works of the short stories of Reginald Rivers and his time travel safari. The earliest story, and his most famous one, A Gun For Dinosaur, was written back in the 1950s. The other stories in here are written about 92, 93, at least according to the copyright date. And they each tell about a separate adventure about some of the hassles he had with some of his clientele. One of them, the famous one, A Gun For a Dinosaur, is where he has two guys come out to do some hunting in the Cretaceous. One who is, trying to, shoot everything in sight. The other one is just trying to do something exciting for his life. Problems ensue. Other stories involved a animal rights activist who's opposed to his, him going out in the past and shooting dinosaurs or other prehistoric beasts. Never mind the fact that what they're after are millions of years dead. Other problems that involve will explain why he has certain rules that may appear sexist or unfair. For instance, he doesn't allow mixed genders to go on the same safaris. He has a story explaining why. Vehicles, again, they are prohibited because of the problems that going back in time with no technology to fix or bring back, and so forth. And some of his clientele are just the most unruly lot. Again, some guys are just there to prove their manhood and shoot at everything that they want. Others are, some people are kind of misinformed what it's like to be back there. Two guys in one story were trying to go back in time and hunt like cavemen using bow and arrows and spears against dinosaurs. Never mind the fact that they are also uninformed the fact that they never lived at the same time until time travel. And let's see, there's also a creationist who hires Reginald Rivers' services to prove the young creation of the Earth in his views. Another story involves him and his wife going to ancient Australia, and problems occur there. But there's only like a handful of stories here, and here's what I found on YouTube. There's a radio adaptation of his first and most famous story involving the character, and if I find it, I'll link it down below. But the Jurassic World is about to come out there, and suppose you want to find some good fiction material to be entertained by, mine is just Rivers of Time by Sprague. A good collection of short stories about time-traveling safaris, and he's a very good writer, very easy to read, and so forth. And other works of Sprague, it's just unfortunately you cannot find him directly from the bookshelves. If you don't know what he is, he's one of the from the golden age of science fiction, along with all the greats as Asimov and Harlan Ellison and all the Paul Anderson, Frederick Pohl, all those good guys. One of the things that he did contribute to it is help keep the character Conan the Barbarian alive. If you take a look at a lot of the Conan paperbacks, you'll see Robert E. Howard, Sprague, and Lynn Carter. He helped keep the character alive, adding stories to make a continuous story, from beginning to end, unlike the mixed jumble that Conan originally was. But he also written much of his original work. His Krishna series, if you like John Carter of Mars, that's our interplanetary romance there. Again, that's a good series to go into. His most famous one, let's see, the Incomplete Enchanter, which I've yet to read, but I'll get around to that. Also, The Fallible Fiend, very humorous fantasy one. But he was also a deep lover of paleontology, and again, this one kind of reflects, his love for this in the form of the Reginald Rivers stories. But again, if you watch Jurassic World, and you're interested in reading anything about dinosaurs, dinosaurs and prehistoric animals in fiction, pick this up when you can. You will enjoy it. All right, thanks for all for watching. You all have a nice day.